something to think about. All the wealth needed to make your biggest dreams come true are in the ground, and all you have to do is extract that wealth. And we're helping our clients and partners do just that. We're also creating opportunities for those without mind skills to become part of a successful mind processing operation, one that can make their dreams come true. Hello, I'm Sandy Wadsworth, and this is a 1027 Processing Company presentation titled Recovering Great Wealth from the Ground, Part Number 2. We want our clients to recover the most precious metals possible when they use our equipment and our services. But as explained in the last presentation, there are right and wrong ways to use mining equipment, including our equipment. In this presentation, we want to talk about some of the things that control precious metal recoveries. It takes time and work to develop the best recovery process for an ore body, as each ore is somewhat unique in its makeup. Yet most small miners have limited amount of money and time. So when we develop an ore body, we look for the best path forward after a limited amount of study, and then we map out that path. Our first objective is to locate the best and fastest way to first mine profits. Then as profits are earned, we do more studies to better learn about the ore body so as to locate ways to a better recovery. Our family is committed to helping miners, mine owners, and mine investors create wealth from good ground rich in gold and other precious metals. In this presentation, we're going to build on past presentations, giving you additional information that can be used to help you create a mine success. So today's subject is concerning things that affect precious metal recoveries. Understanding that there are issues that govern precious metal recoveries is a major step towards creating a mine success. A second step is learning which issue governs the recovery of your precious metals. With that said, let's look at some main issues that govern precious metal recovery. Number 1, finding the right process to recover your precious metals. We focus on gravity processes which work on most ore bodies. We also work on ways to make our gravity processes work better than the competition's. But you need to study your ore body and see what is the right process for that ore. There are labs that will compare different processes while testing your ore so that you can know which works best on your ore body. Number 2, grinding too fine or not grinding fine enough. Before you can create a better precious metal recovery, you need to know the size of your precious metals. This is because the bigger particles of precious metals require less grinding. And if you grind too small, then you can lose some of that recovery. This is also because small particles of precious metals require more grinding of the ore to release these particles for recovery. So if you grind too big, then you can lose some of that recovery. Bigger companies with unlimited ore development funding conduct particle size studies before designing their grinding circuit. Again, there are labs that will conduct these studies for you. We do our own particle size study for our personal projects, which is not as sophisticated as some of the lab studies, but it works for us. We've also found that there are both big and small particles in most ore bodies. So we have a way to do a first grind, then concentrate the ore, and follow that with a second grind and a second concentration process. The first grind collects the bigger particles and the second grind collects the smaller particles. We're also working on a method to recover superfine precious metals, and it's called the MX70 process. This process should be available for our use by late 2026. Now number 3, not using a surfactant soap to wash the ore before gravity separation. Some of the smaller precious metal particles will float and be lost in the gravity separation process if a surfactant is not used to wash the ore before concentrating it. Now this can be a major problem as many times there are more smaller pieces of precious metals in the ore body than there are bigger pieces. Number 4, using the wrong surfactant soap in a gravity separation process. In some cases, More precious metals can be recovered with no surfactant if you use the wrong surfactant. However, the recovery improves and many times greatly improves when the right surfactant is used. Using the wrong surfactant can reduce the amount of precious recovery and sometimes completely reduce that recovery to zero. Number 5, not having the recovery processing equipment set up properly. This is a big issue, as operating mine processing equipment takes skill. You need to understand how the equipment works and how it works best on your unique ore, as every ore is unique in its makeup. Learning how your equipment works best on your ore can take some time and study, and you need to invest the time to come up with the best recovery setup. We plan to make more videos on this subject because it includes many details. Number 6, dealing with acidic issues. When the ore body is partly oxidized with some sulfides, and when you grind the ore, it can make the processing water slightly acidic. This can reduce and sometimes greatly reduce the amount of precious metals recovered. The solution here is to crush and grind your ore and measure the pH afterward. Then, if need be, adjust the pH to enable recovery. Number 7, a processing circuit can have hidden gold traps. You need to locate these traps and make them work for you. As an example, certain ball mills have major precious metal traps. As such, you cannot properly test an ore with a ball mill that has these traps. This is because when you run your test batch through the mill, the results you're getting are from what was previously batched. Because certain ball mills have major precious metal traps, some of the operators periodically clean out their ball mills for an extra payday. Our ball mills can be used for testing, as they have much less of these traps. However, when used for testing, the mill has to be completely unloaded before and after testing. This does take time and effort. The point here is that you need to locate all precious metal traps and make them work for you. 8, not properly treating concentrates with pretreatments after recovering those concentrates. This is the biggest area where most mine profits are lost. It takes a lot of time and money to recover a good precious metal concentrate. And once it's recovered, great care should be taken to recover the precious metals from that concentrate. So you need to learn the best pretreatments needed to recover most of your precious metals, and that will depend on the makeup of your concentrates. Example, consider that concentrate buyers, refining companies, understand that each concentrate has problems that prevents good precious metal recoveries. That is, without first using pretreatments. This is because every ore has issues, and when you produce a concentrate from that ore, you greatly exaggerate those problems. Now, the advantage here for the concentrating buyers, the refiners, is that no assay process will show the true value of a concentrate. That is, without first using pretreatments before assaying. This is a secret kept from the miners. Therefore, if these buyers assay your concentrates before applying pretreatments and pay you based on that assay value, these refiners fully know that the assay value that the purchase was based on is not the true value of those concentrates. So after the purchase, they send samples to their lab to learn the best pretreatment process. Then after using those pretreatments, they almost always recover 200% or more than the assay value that the purchase was based on. So, if a buyer gives you 80% of the purchase assay value, he is really paying you 40% or less of the true value of your concentrates. After the purchase is completed, the refiner studies your concentrates, learns of its problems, and creates pretreatments to overcome those problems. The result is the refining company recovers 200% or more than what the purchase assay showed. And you're cheating. This is a major concentrate buyer's secret, one that is making these refining companies very rich. If you depend on concentrate buyers in your mining operation, there are things you can do to those concentrates before selling them that will improve the purchase assay value and therefore net you more profits. Therefore, it's worth the effort to learn about these pretreatments and use them before selling your concentrates. You'll be glad you did, and your pocketbook will thank you. It's time that miners use the pretreatment of concentrates to enrich themselves, and we're working to make this happen. Coming to better understand this issue and then properly using that knowledge can help make you wealthy. Please understand these are just 8 of the factors that affect the recovery of precious metals from ore bodies. There are others. It should be noted that when developing an ore body, we look for the best and fastest way to first mine profits. Then as profits are earned, we do studies to better learn more about the ore body so as to locate better ways to recover the precious metals from that ore body. This is because the most important thing for the small miner is to locate a pathway to first profits. Let me close with these last questions. Is it time for you to shine and start recovering significant wealth from your ground? Is it time for you to make some dreams come true? Maybe we can help. If so, you can contact us at 1027processingco@gmail.com. That's 1027processingco@gmail.com.